today we are going to, or I'm going to roast my own website because I've done so many live streams in the past and conference talks and one-on-one sessions where I was going through different people's websites, and I'm always telling them what to do there and how to do it right or how to do it better from my opinion. And the thing is, my own website isn't really the best in the world because, yeah, I guess whenever you're optimizing or working on something else for other people, then it can be pretty time consuming. You don't really take the time to optimize your own website. But because we're all in quarantine right now, I think it's a nice moment or a nice time to just look at my own website. And yeah, you've probably seen the beautiful artwork that I've done. So that's my title screen for this conversion battle where I'm battling myself, basically. Just a quick introduction, if you don't know what I'm talking about today. So basically, I've redone my site a few weeks ago. So it was all very differently branded. It was red color background. And I've gone through my site. I've optimized a lot from my opinion, but I've never really tried to take this third person's look on my own website. And I think that's pretty important. And this is why I'm basically doing this live stream. And I've prepared a lot of comments. So even though I thought my website would be very nice right now, I found 81 things that are not so nice. So I hope you can learn something out of that. And even if you look at a website, I don't know if you think my website is nice, but if you look at a website and you think it's really nice already, or there's not much to optimize, I think there are always some things that you can do. And this is why we're here today. I hope all of this live stream doesn't sound like a sales pitch because I'm showing my own site, which I usually hate, but for this purpose, I kind of have to. Okay, so I've prepared some comments. If you ever have any other comments, so if you have something to add or if you don't understand something, then please just text in the comments and I will read the comments here. So I can always see when you have something to say. And I will just start with something that is called predictive eye tracking. So basically the tool that you see right now here is called UXPin. So this is normally the tool that I use for wireframing or to create wireframes, but also to comment on websites, because you have this nice comment mode where you can just click anywhere and then you can leave a comment, and that's pretty nice to just give feedback to a website. And the first thing that you see here is a predictive eye tracking map where a computer decides what parts of the websites are very visible when people enter the site. So for the first few seconds. And if you see this here, you can maybe guess that this is pretty crap. So I've done the eye tracking simulation with a tool called heatmap.co. I'm sorry for talking bad about them today, but basically this is completely not true. So all the different eye tracking tools out there say something that they are accurate about 60 to 90% when it comes to real eye tracking. And here the computer tries to imitate human behavior. So they check where the contrasts on the page. Usually they have stuff like skin recognition, face recognition, text recognition, and so on. And apparently this tool didn't have it because the face, at least that's what they say, doesn't drag any attention, which is very unlikely, because if you go to a page, I will just switch my browser tab right now. So you will probably see that your eyes go to the face pretty early, at least they should normally. And here it says that the face is not even visible in the first second. So this is pretty weird. And then also you have some contrast elements here, like the button, like the color text and so on. All of these elements, according to the tool, are not visible at all. But then again, my logo is very visible, which might be because of the positioning, because people tend to look at the top left corner to find out who's running this page. But it's, I don't know, it's a pretty weird analysis. And there are other tools on the market like iQuant, if you've heard of them. So they are pretty nice. They're more accurate, but the tool that I used here is pretty much garbage. And so I deactivated my account today after trying it 3 or 4 times. And don't do that. However, I just wanted to show you how predictive eye tracking looks. And then, hello Marlene. Okay, so basically going through this site. So I added some comments here that I will just go through with you, and I will open the comments while I'm talking about the stuff, not only because I don't want to miss anything or I don't want to say things that I didn't really write down. I just wanted to prepare a bit so it's a bit more organized, so that you can learn all the stuff that I think is not so nice with my own website. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, my beard, I cut it a bit too short. I'm sorry for that. I hope And forgive me. Okay, so first of all, I will go to the header of my page. Also, if you look at my real page, so this is the page in the browser, the header is not sticky, so it doesn't scroll with the user. And in case that's something you think is important, I think it's not important because people know where to find the navigation. So I didn't write anything about that. And it's not too important on pages that are not too long or where you have to add an extra navigation for different parts of the content. So like jump marks where people can click on and then they get scrolled to something on the page. So yeah, my navigation doesn't scroll, but it doesn't have to. But one thing that's completely missing in my header is trust and social proof. So I'm kind of assuming that everyone knows me, which is complete bullshit. So of course not everyone knows me who's on the page. I have a huge amount of new visitors. So like I think 80-90% of my visitors are new. They've never been on my site. And so it's pretty important to build trust in the first moment. On the homepage, that's not too important because you can say, okay, you have some headline here and you have some trust elements in this part of the page. However, people don't only land on your homepage. In fact, most people actually don't land on your homepage. So they land on some sub pages that you have. And there, if you don't do the trust building, then people will not trust you and they might not dig deeper into the site. So this is actually a pretty important part. And so I think you should always, or I, in this case, should always use my header to build some trust. So what you can do there is stuff like if you had media coverage. So if you were in different magazines or you were maybe on TV or on, I don't know, on some blogs out there that are popular, then you could add something like this up here. So you could say next to the logo, like as seen on, so you just have the logos there. Or you could also show off some numbers, like you could say something, or I could say something about my clients or about success stories or about how many conversions I've increased or how much I've increased the conversions for my clients and so on. And all of this is completely missing. So that's not so nice for the header. And again, for all the people who just joined, just give comments. So if you have anything to add or if you don't understand something, please ask me. Okay, then the next comment is this one. So I basically sell myself on the website. Yeah, it's a website about me. It's the same for every agency out there. It's the same for every personal brand out there or everyone who tries to sell a service instead of a physical product. So they're basically selling themselves, not in a way, well, no, I won't say that, but so you're basically selling yourself. But I'm not saying anything about me. So I try to put this information into the different pages that I have. So you will see this throughout this live stream. So you have some pages or some sub pages where I'm saying something about me, but usually it's pretty far at the end of the page. And it would make a lot of sense to just have one more navigation item here. And there's actually some space for it. So I could just add something like about me here and then also show more information, not only have the about me link, but also have a drop down menu or something where I can split it in different parts. So I could say something about success stories, like what have I done for my clients? I could say on what conferences have I spoken, what projects have I done, or what are my projects, what are my different projects that I'm working on right now. Then I have a lot of publications, so I have blog articles, even some books where I was a co-author. I have a podcast with my best friend who might watch. I didn't really follow the list of people who are watching right now, but if you're here, hi Izzy. And maybe even personal stuff. So this comment here, I hope you can read it. If you can't, go to full screen and 720p. That's sadly the best that Facebook can do. It's not 1080p, but it should be okay to read it. And you could even be a bit personal. So I try not to get too personal in my work context, but I think it's actually a nice way to kind of be a normal human or to be likable by different people because they think, hey, that's a nice guy, and why don't I put something like that there? Of course, it shouldn't be too private, like I wouldn't say who's my girlfriend or something like this, but you can say something about like what am I interested in, what do I like to do in my free time, blah, blah, blah. So that's optional. I think that doesn't have to be there, but it's something that you could put on your page. Also, I'm doing this on Instagram, for example, where I'm basically only posting private stuff, which is also not good. I should add some business stuff there, but I think you can always do something about it. Hi Tamboli, well, hi to Berlin. Okay, next comment, this part. So I have a navigation I will show you on the real page where I have a drop down menu. So also this doesn't really look nice. It's pretty disconnected. It's very far. There's a huge gap between the sub menu and the main navigation item. And I think knowledge is not really the best word that I should use here. So instead I could do something like learn conversion optimization or learn CRO or something, which is a bit more benefit focused. So people might be more likely to click this, because if it's knowledge, that sounds boring. That sounds like, I don't know, like scientific articles or something. Well, it's really not. So I think I should just change the wording here. And then also you might have seen I have 2 of these new pills. So I'm saying this is new, and I'm also saying this is new. And if you look at it, it kind of fights for the attention. And right now I want people to go to this part, because this is the new menu item that I have here. So this one, and I don't really need people to go to this one anymore, at least not so many. And by having both of them here, it kind of leads to fight with each other, and then people might not understand or might not make the best choice on where to go. And then they might get lost on a page, might forget that there was another new item in the navigation. And I think it's important when you have something in your navigation that you want to make people focus on, you should rather just have 1 instead of 2 items, because the higher the focus will be for people looking at that item. Then, wait, I have to move my phone a bit, otherwise I don't see my whole screen. Then talking about my main headline. So I think the main headline is the most important element on any page, because people land on your page and then they will read this first before they read any other thing. At least normally it's the case. And right now I think my headline is pretty fine, because I don't know, I've texted around it a lot. And even this, hey, I'm Niels, I think that's normally nothing too important, but I think here it's nice to just welcome people. Is better than saying welcome to my homepage or something, and it makes you a bit more approachable, at least I hope so. And right now I'm just saying I help companies worldwide increase their sales and leads. And the shit thing about this is that basically by having this headline here where I say worldwide, and then also having the client logos here, which are only my biggest clients, but not my average client. My average client is smaller than this. I kind of filter out all the clients that I actually want. So I'm kind of interested in mid-sized businesses, but by saying this, it seems like I'm only focusing on very big clients. So everyone who's, I don't know, making $1 million per year would already think that they are too small to work with me or something, and that is actually not true. So this is pretty badly done. So I should add something like I work, or I help companies, or I help mid-sized and enterprise businesses or something like this, so that also the mid-sized businesses would understand that it's for them. And then also, of course, add the logos of these businesses here. So I can still show off my biggest clients just to impress. However, I should also add more clients that are normal sized. And of course, it's helpful when they are well known, because then people might understand that, what size of company that is. But yeah, it's not too important, but maybe it's even nice to have some unknown clients there, so people will think, okay, maybe it's for everyone. However, I hope I'm not too fast, and I hope everything is understandable. Then I will continue here with my subheadline, and I'm using this word top-notch, and I asked my girlfriend if she understands top-notch, and she said, or she doesn't hear me, she wears headphones, and she said no, so she doesn't know what top-notch means. And that's maybe something, because most of my audience that visits my website is actually German, because as many or most of you will know, I come from Germany, and I still have like 70 or 60% German traffic on my page, and they might not understand these words. So if I have some words on the page that are not too casual, so that are not too easy to understand, maybe it's better to say something that also a non-native speaker can understand, especially if that's your audience. By the way, I decided not to have a German version on my page. I used to have that. So I had, in the beginning, I had the page in English and German, or in the very beginning, it was only German. Then I kind of wanted to leave the German market, or at least go more international. Then I had a German and English version. But for me, that was pretty annoying, because it was so much work to keep everything up to date. And yeah, for me, it's just more easy to just have an English version, because most people will understand it anyway. However, of course, I'm kind of turning off German clients with that. So that's maybe not the smartest way, but for me, it's just less work, and I prefer to do it this way. Yeah, Alex just says top-notch is very British. That might be. I actually have this wording from a song from a metal band where something like top notch is in the title of a song. So I Googled that and then I knew what it means, but maybe some of you won't know it. Oh yeah, Raphael says, I help, like an idea for my headline, I help companies of all sizes increase their sales and leads. That, however, is not true. So I'm actually aiming for mid to enterprise sized. I don't aim for small clients because they usually don't have the budget that I charge. But yeah, if it was for everyone, then it would make a lot of sense to do it this way. And then here you have a small stop. So you say I say top-notch conversion optimization stop since 2004 stop. And then I think I'm not 16 years old, as you maybe can tell. I have some gray hair here. But I think if this was a different number, maybe if it's 5 years from now, then people might not understand that this is actually not my birthday or my birth year. So for me, it was a bit confusing when I read this, and I thought, is the since 2004 actually when I started working on it, or is it when I was born? It could be both in a weird way, if you're thinking in a weird way. And I think this would be much easier to understand if I would just remove the stop. So if it would just be top-notch conversion optimization since 2004 in one sentence, then it would be much easier to understand. Then talking about my picture, this is actually a pretty old photo. It's like 4 years old already. And so I think I look kind of okay in this picture because I don't think I'm too photogenic. However, there are newer pictures of me or newer photos where I look more like I look right now. So this is not very important. This will not change any conversion rate or something, but this is also not how I look anymore. So I'm not wearing the button down shirts anymore, really. I'm usually wearing t-shirts, and this was from the time where I wanted to impress people by how I dress or something. I don't know. So I think I should just get new pictures. So because I'm selling myself as a personal brand, and I think it's important just to have an up-to-date image, especially when you're calling people on a Zoom call, like on webcam or something. It's pretty important that they see the person they see in the picture. I'm not looking too different, but it's still kind of important. I should change it soon. Then also what is not so nice, so I have this entry part of the page where I'm just introducing everything. And then here, there is nothing where I tell people, this is what you should do now. So basically, apart from the part down here, but for many people that's not visible because it's below the fold, so they will not see it without scrolling. And I think I should always have something like an entrance door inside the subpages of my website. And right now, I'm just basically asking people to use the navigation, which can be okay, but I think it would be better if I would add something like a button here where I say do this or do that, like maybe even have multiple buttons just to give people a start, because they could be a bit lost, then they could suffer from this paradox of choice, so they have too many options and then they are kind of confused, don't know where to go first and so on. And the more pages you have, the more this effect happens. So I think you should always give a starting point for people visiting the website. Looking at a comment, so Steve, or Sol Seeker, but Steve, says picture quality is a bit fuzzy, displaying at 144p, and if I try to increase the resolution, it's unwatchable. Wait, increasing the comment. No, it's true. So it's actually not a retina image or not an HD image. So normally what you would do is you upload a double size version of your picture. So if your picture is normally 200 pixels wide and high, then you would take 400 and either just upload that and then downsize it so it would still be crisp or sharp on HD screens, or what you can do is use things like retina.js, which is a JavaScript library that automatically picks a different size of an image depending on what screen the person is on who visits your website, and then the pictures would look better. Yeah, I agree, this picture is a bit blurry, a bit unsharp, and the reason is I just didn't have it in a bigger resolution, so I had to use this. Tamboli, that's a bit difficult because I'm about 12,000 kilometers away. Otherwise, I would. Eve is saying, how about I help businesses grow by increasing their conversion in sales? That could also work. So I help them grow is actually maybe better because you have a better focus on what's their actual goal. So they want to grow. They don't necessarily need more sales and leads, because that is just one thing that you need to grow your business. So maybe that's even a better goal to mention there. Thanks for the comment. Okay, then going down to this part. So, sorry, more comments. Yeah, true. Thomas says, don't forget that 4K displays are on the rise. So yeah, it would maybe even make sense to already upload 4K versions of your images just to have it all as soon as more people visit your website from those screens. Then I have this part on my page where I'm telling people to subscribe to my mailing list, basically. And I think the sentence here that I used is pretty okay. So I don't like the word hacks. I don't know why I use this. It's such a bullshit bingo word, but still, it's okay. And then you have this, or I have this small gray text here, and I don't know why it's dark gray on darker gray. So that's actually super unreadable, extremely invisible almost. And this should definitely be a bit more visible. Then also I have double text here, like it's free, and then I say 100% free forever. So yeah, I don't know why I'm doubling this. That's also a bit stupid. And also it's always important to reduce the copy that you have. So don't say things in too many words, because the more words you have on your page, the less people will read, the less percentage people will read. Yeah, you can make a screenshot. I don't mind. Okay, then I have this line here, and this is actually something that I didn't stumble upon, but a friend told me, Hannes. And there's this blue line. He thought that he has to type his email here. So he would go to my page and he would click here. Wait, I can actually show my mouse clicks. Whoops. So he would click here, and he thought this is the line where he has to type his email address. I didn't even think about that, because for me it was, yeah, not in that way. But for him, he thought the page is broken. So I should, yeah, maybe even reduce this line here, because it doesn't have any value at all. So I don't even know why I put this here. It's just some random design element that's unnecessary. And I should just get rid of it if it doesn't help the usability of the page. Then, yeah, this is the part where I'm basically promoting or introducing my startup that I have. And then I have this headline here that says, meet my new startup. And this headline was written in 2018, March, I think. So it's actually not new anymore. So it's been there for a while. I haven't really worked on it. So it's still kind of new when it comes to the development phase. However, it's not new anymore, so I should maybe not say that, because it's a bit weird if people go there and then they see, oh, there's content from 2018 that looks like my page here is not up to date. And then I have this, wording here where I just say what it is. So I say a platform and network for e-learning and advanced online marketing, but I'm not giving any benefits here. So that's actually terrible copywriting, as I wrote here in my comment, because whenever you say something, don't only talk about the features, but make it very, very, very focused on benefits, and maybe also features, but benefits should always go first, because that's actually much more important and makes more people click. Reading a comment, maybe put the benefit for the user at the beginning of the sentence, get 20 of my top conversion hacks today, it's free. True, yeah. I actually forgot that here as well. So there's no benefit in there, because it just says get free conversion tips. And then on the page behind that, we will get to that a bit later. Oops, I clicked something. Okay, I'm here. So I'm actually saying stuff like become a better marketer in this place. But I should, of course, say it when I'm asking people to click. Okay, then next point. So I have this part where I'm basically talking about where I've spoken on what conferences. And the reason I have this here is my website used to be a one-pager. So I had only one page with all of the content, and that was it. No sub-pages apart from imprint, privacy, and terms. But this is still a relic of that time, or relic, where I'm saying something here that is completely irrelevant. Why would someone be interested in this part or in this content in this part of my page? And then I have this huge list of some conferences or companies where I've spoken, and yeah, who would read all of that? So it's pretty stupid to just use text for this, and instead I should have used logos for the better known or more known companies and conferences, and then maybe have some more words just to show, okay, it's actually many. Or I could even use something like a number here. So I could say something like I've talked in front of 100 instead of many. So I could actually use the number, and it would be much more trustworthy. And also I think it would increase the understanding of people that this is actually a big number, because this is just a random piece of text where people will not go through. Okay, then I have, at the end of this page, this is also the relic from my older times where this was a one-pager where I'm saying something about me, which is completely irrelevant here. So as I said already, I should have put this in my main navigation where people can learn about me. And I shouldn't put it here at the end of my page, because who scrolls that far on a homepage? It's completely stupid to put it here. And then also I have this weird color. So I tried using the mark HTML tag, so MARK, to highlight text, basically like a text marker. And this is some green yellowish color, but it's slightly transparent. And then having this on dark gray as a background just looks really, really ugly. And I should maybe just change that color. Although I think this, of course, this wouldn't change any conversion rate or something, but it just looks a bit shit. Okay, and then last part for my homepage, then we go to the next page, is my footer, where I'm asking people to follow me on social media, but I'm not asking them really. So I'm not saying anything. I just have the icons there, hoping that people would click them, but why would they click it? So it's always important to give a reason. So whenever you want people to do something, to click something, give them reasons to follow your call to action. So I should say something there like, what content do they expect, how often, what am I talking about, blah, 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 blah. So just some reasons to follow me, because right now not really many people are clicking this, which could of course also be because it's in the footer of my page, so many people just don't even scroll that far. Okay, I have water here, I have to take a sip. Excuse me. Okay, next page. So imagine someone is on my page and then clicks on this first navigation item here, which is CRO Masterclass. And this is just to give a brief explanation. This is basically my new project where I'm working on, where I'm recording videos and basically selling a course, but I don't try to sound like the bullshit people out there that try to sell you their passive income video course or something. It's not that, I promise. But still, I try to do this because right now I have a lot of time sitting at home where I just record the videos. I've done this masterclass 2 weeks ago, I think, where I had like 6.9 thousand people watching, and many people asked me to keep the content online. So I thought it's a nice idea to just have a page where I basically sell this, but I'm not selling it yet. So this is more like a early bird landing page or a beta landing page where people can sign up just to get the notification. And excuse me. And so basically about this page. So I have this entrance area here of the page, and I think, or I was kind of struggling with where to put this part, because I need to build some credibility for people who come, because if you just have this part of content, then, I mean, this is something everyone could say. Everyone could say, oh, it's all you need to increase conversions, but do you trust them? So I think it's really important to have some brands there where you say, who was I working with in the past, just to build credibility. And I think this is a terrible placement for visual hierarchy. So when people come to this page, first of all, you don't really know where to look. So you could look here, you could look there, you could look at the 2 buttons that even look differently here. So the visual hierarchy is completely messed up. And I think it would be much better to just have this whole thing here. So the text that is here, and then also the logos in just one line. So I would only have a small logo bar, so just scale them down, and then have a smaller text, and then just have it in one line, maybe below the headline. So maybe I could put it here somewhere so that the focus would be more on the main headline, which is much more important, but I would still build the credibility. And then I also thought, especially on mobile, so I would just show you how that looks on mobile. So if you enter the page and you're on a mobile screen, then you're reloading, then you're basically seeing a lot of stuff here, but you're not even seeing the form, so the call to action element. And this is not so nice. At least I thought so, and for that I actually made a mouse tracking analysis or a scroll tracking analysis. So I was using Hotjar and put my page in there. And if you look at mobile screens, you see that the average fold is here. So the left one here is the mobile screen, and the more red something is, the more people have seen it. So this completely red part, 100% of people have seen who are on the page. And then if you go a bit down, here's the average fold. That's like 98 or 97% of people who've seen it until here. And then here it drops off. And you see here, that's, I don't have the real number in my head, but it's, I think, around 65% or something who see this part. While if you look at desktop here, much more. So like everyone basically sees the sign up form. And I thought that is super important. And I thought, so this means I have to do something to also make the form visible above the fold. So just have it here somewhere on mobile. But I was actually looking in analytics, which you can see here at the top right. And as you can see, so this is the sign up rate for my for the email form. And it's not really different between mobile and desktop. So although the visibility of the element is extremely different, the conversion rate is not really different. So you have, or I have 25.5% conversions on desktop, but only, or also 22.6 conversions on mobile. So that's not a big difference. However, I thought this would be much higher. So this basically, by doing mouse tracking analysis, I found out that this is actually not a too important thing to change. So by the way, if you don't know how to get this data, you just go to analytics and then click on segments and then create or pick a segment for desktop traffic, for mobile traffic, and then you can compare these numbers, and that is pretty important. Just going through your comments quickly. Okay, so Louisa asked, is there a reason why you don't mention your services like masterclass or consulting on your homepage? No, I mean, I should. That's what I said. So I should offer some sort of entrance or starting point for my page. And this is something I should mention there. That would make sense, but I'm not doing it right now because I'm stupid. And then Susanna says your cookie banner even covers up the footer and social icons. Yeah, it does. I don't mind too much because I think before someone arrives at the footer, they will already have clicked the cookie banner. At least I hope so. But yeah, it could be something that, but I wouldn't just change it. I would just check in analytics just by seeing, do people actually click this before they reach that point of my page? Okay, going on. So then about the headline, I think this headline, as I said already, so I could, no, that was the other headline. So I think this headline is pretty okay. Then I should just, yeah, build some trust. But as I said, so I should move the top element further down. And I should maybe add something like guaranteed bullshit free, because I'm actually scared that when I launch this, when I make it public, then everyone will think, oh, you're just another person selling their bullshit video course, which is what happens all the time right now. And I don't want to be confused with those people. So maybe I should actually say something like this here. I mean, I would like it. I don't know if people would like it. Maybe you can say in the comments, would you find it positive if I say launching in May 2020, guaranteed bullshit free? Would that be cool or would that be bad? Then I have this next button here where I let people click, and then when they click it, so I will do it here. So whoop, clicking, then I get scrolled down to the content of the page where people see, yeah, what's inside the masterclass. And I think the button has a huge problem because it has a different button design than my normal designs. I don't even really know why I did that, why I didn't just pick the normal design. However, I think when people are kind of used to this, so they see the button here and they will understand that this is a button because it's next to a form, then maybe this doesn't really look like a button. And I also saw people here who live with me who use the site and then they didn't pay attention to this element at all. So I did some mouse tracking here with Hotjar again. And so as you can see here, this is the mouse movement data. So this is where people move their mouse. I have to say it's not too many people. I just did this today. So it's just, I think 200 people who move their mouse here. But you can see that the attention that this element gets is extremely low. So usually you have 50, 60, 80% of people who are mouse readers. So they will have their mouse cursor around where they're looking. So it's not exactly where they're looking. So most people don't really, when they read something, they don't move the mouse like this and this and this, but they will usually have the mouse somewhere in the area where they're paying attention to right now. And you can see that here the attention is pretty low. And then I also looked at the click data, and here you can see very, very much that people are not paying attention to this element, but it's so important. So this is actually much more important than my form here. Not really much more important, but people should understand what's in there because that's important for making them convert. So I should make this look more clickable and yeah, make more people understand that they can see more on this page, because they might think that this page is done here. It's the end of the page, but it's not. Okay, people like bullshit free. That's good. Thanks, Steve and Daria. Okay, then, oops, here. Going on, so yeah, I have, basically I'm starting with the introduction, so I'm saying about, or what is the masterclass, just very, very briefly. Then I ask people to sign up, and then I think what's extremely missing on this page is something like, who is this for? Or actually skipped a comment, I will go to that later after this one, but still. So I think I should add a section here where I say something about this masterclass is for you if you want to do, and then put all the benefits in there that I have from my masterclass. And I completely forgot to put something like this on this page, but I think it's extremely important. So this was just, I don't know, my brain not working. Then I have this sentence here: get notified about the launch and secure your lifetime access for 50% off. And I actually asked this in a Slack group where I asked people for feedback. Is this okay, or do you have any questions in your head when you read this? And then someone said that she wouldn't sign up because she wouldn't know if 50% off is still extremely expensive, or if it's cheap, or if it's affordable, or something like this. But then again, I don't want to make a price indication here already. So I don't want to say how much it will be, because if I say that, then it could lead to people already making their buying decision, although they shouldn't buy yet. They should just put their email here so I can notify them when it's done. So I think I wouldn't, or I definitely wouldn't put the pricing here, but maybe something like say 50% off of an already affordable price, or affordable for everyone, or something like this. I wouldn't know how to text this right now, but maybe just saying something like it's affordable. Again, question to the chat. So would that be something that is cool for you? Like, would you say affordable is nice, or should I not mention it here? I don't know, actually. I have no idea. So Sasha is asking, why did you choose blue for the call to action button and not some other brighter color? Because I don't want another color on my page. So normally you say buttons should always have a contrast color, but I think it has a contrast color because all the important elements on my page, and there are not too many, are blue. So it's like text highlighting and buttons, and that's basically all. And it's not too important to have an orange button or something, because people will still see it. However, in this case, I think really the problem is the design of the button, because it doesn't really look like a button. It looks like highlighted text. But I wouldn't pick another color and put it in my page just because I don't want to. And I think it's not too important. All right, then going here. So this element on the right is actually scrolling. So if I go here and I go to this page and I scroll down, so then this element here is sticky. It scrolls with the user. But I think before that, so I wouldn't change too much about this element, so because that's the call to action for people to sign up, so I would make that scroll. However, before that, I would add an element that is not scrolling, where I put something like a teaser, so I could maybe have a quick video where I introduce the whole thing and also have some testimonials. I actually got a really nice testimonial from Sasha. Not you, not the one who commented, but another one, Sasha Blank, who gave me a really cool video testimonial. Maybe I should just cut a video, edit a video, and put it there just to have a quick introduction to the whole thing. Yeah, and then another problem with this, so if you're familiar with responsive web design, so what happens here is if people, whoops, I will show. So if people are here on desktop, they will see this part because it's scrolling, but then when you go to mobile, what happens is it breaks, and then at this part, this content is at the bottom of the page, which is pretty bad because I have my testimonials there and they are fairly important. So I should maybe make it in a way that on desktop, the testimonials are visible here all the time when scrolling, and on mobile, I should remove them from here, but put them somewhere in the content. So just have them maybe after the quick overview and so on. I'm reading comments again in a second. Klaus asked, didn't you say in your masterclass never put labels into form fields? Yes, labels is something different. Oh, no, you mean these. Yeah, yes, I said that, but I think for very short forms, like when you have two fields, it's fine. Like for email and password, it's pretty okay. I wouldn't do it when the form is longer because then autocomplete happens. But I think for this, it's easy enough and I wanted to save the space. But yeah, good call. Normally, if the form would be longer, I would definitely not put them in there. But I think in this case, it's okay because it's just 2 form fields. So people will understand what they typed here. Like if I type my name and my email address, then I will still understand what was asked here. But then even if an autocomplete happens, like I click here, no, this was a bad one. No, it actually doesn't even fill the second field. It's broken. I don't know why. Okay, yeah, I should fix that. Oops. Okay, then Thomas asks, why do you place the notify form above the bullet points? I'd not give away my data without knowing what I could get from it, especially when it's extra effort to do the double opt-in. Yeah, could be worth a test. So my plan was kind of to have the form visible as early as possible, because usually when you ask for signups for very low friction conversions, so where people just add their email address but they're not buying anything or something, then usually it's best to have the form as far up as possible or as early as possible, of course under the headline or something. But yeah, it could make sense to have a list of benefits here. However, the list of benefits, at least the one that I have here, is so long that it would put the form somewhere here, which is way too late. So that's the reason why I didn't put it there. But this is actually something I could test. So maybe just adding 4 or 5 bullet points above the form to make people understand a bit more what they get from it. Good point. All right, next point. Okay, so yeah, this whole list basically is not enough benefit focused, and I said benefits, or I will say benefits a lot today because it's so important, but people tend to forget because in my head it's all clear. Like I understand what to get people out of it, how do they benefit from it, but someone who doesn't know the product doesn't know it, so you need to tell it to them. And this is something I forget all the time, but I think many people suffer from this. So whenever you're working with your own page, because you know too much, you're suffering from organizational blindness, you will understand why it is good, but people don't understand. So you should always say this. So this whole content here should be more benefit focused. I think that's important. Then here I say something like get instant access to high quality video lectures, but then high quality video lectures is a very vague number or a very vague statement because people don't know, people don't necessarily understand how much they get out of it. So I should maybe add something like 10 hours or 10 plus hours of high quality video lectures. And then I should maybe also for each lecture add a small teaser or something, maybe even make one complete lecture free so they could just watch it here on this page because it's actually done. They could just put it here and it wouldn't suffer, it wouldn't harm me in any way. So it would actually, I think, make people understand more that this is actually a good thing. Also, I'm leaving this page in a second. I feel like I'm sales pitching. I don't like this. Then get ready to use worksheets. So when I offer stuff like Excel sheets or presentation templates or something, I should maybe also show that in a screenshot form. So just make people see what they're getting out of it to increase value. Then add more teaser videos, blah, blah, blah. And then also when I say about your instructor, I should maybe also add a picture. Okay, but I'm leaving this page because I'm selling too much. I don't want to. Okay, then this is very unsalesy now. So I have the knowledge part or the learn CRO part. If I decide to switch the coffee here, where I'm just having some helpful pages, like in this case, I have a page where people can, I will actually show it in real life. So I have a page where people can just calculate formulas. Like if they want to know, like, of course, most of the formulas, if you work with them on a daily basis, you will have in your head, you will have in your mind. But if you, for example, want to calculate the customer churn rate or something, then people can click it here and then they can just calculate it. And I think this is something like, this is a formula that most people will not have in their head. So they can just type the numbers here and then just type another number here and then type another number here, and then they see the, okay, this is the retention rate, but here they would see the churn rate. So it's basically with live calculators, and I think this is pretty cool and pretty helpful. However, what I would change about this page, so first of all, I should promote it because I built this page and all I did was posting about it on Facebook and Twitter once. However, this is evergreen content, so I could just promote it much more often. Like I could go to to Facebook, to Reddit. I could schedule tweets. I could post it in Instagram stories. Of course, I shouldn't do that in a spammy way, but I should do it always when I added something new to the page. Like when there are 3 new formulas or something, then I have a reason to post about it without annoying people. And then I could just say, hey, I added 3 formulas for this, this, and that to my list. You can calculate it live. And then I think that would be a good reason to post about it. And also I should do something which I completely forgot, is promoting on Zest. So Zest, in case you didn't or don't know this tool, I actually did this yesterday. It already got approved, which is super cool. And Zest is something when you open a new browser tab, so you get all the marketing content that you like. So you can, up here, I hope you can see this, you can pick your categories that you're interested in. Like I'm just removing all. And then here on the right side, you could just say, okay, I'm interested in, for example, in conversion optimization, and then it would filter by conversion optimization. Now, whenever I open a new tab, it would give me new articles about conversion optimization, and they are curated by machines and by people. So they actually make sure that the content here is really nice. And you can just suggest content by clicking up here in the corner, and then you just type a link, and then you click submit, and that's it. So it's super easy, and then it might appear here, and many people who use Zest as a Chrome plugin or as a mobile app will see the content. So this is basically a no-brainer, but I didn't do this because stupid again. Also, Pelle just joined. Now I'm scared. He was promising to insult me with me, so feel free. Yeah, so this is stuff I should do because I want people here to just visit my page to learn stuff, or of course also to do my branding to get some exposure. But I'm not really doing it by not posting it. So this is important. Then also for this subheadline here, I think I should add something like with live calculators or something similar. I'm not a texter or a copywriter, but something like that, because I think that is actually one of the biggest benefits of the page, because you don't need to take your phone out or your calculator if you're still using something like this, but you can actually just type the numbers here and you will get the results, which is nice. Hello, Pelle. Okay. Then same thing here, so I don't really have a button, but then I have a lot of text, or not a lot of text, but it's enough text to want to have a button. So I should just put something here where I say something like, take me to the calculators or take me to the formulas or something. And then when people click this, they would just get scrolled over this part, which is actually not relevant text. This is just blah, blah, blah. But I wanted to have a quick introduction to the page and then just take them here where they could, click the different things and then jump to where the calculators are. Then this comment, also I added this pro tip for smart marketers. This is also a bit weird copy, but I think it's okay. And I'm saying add this page to your browser's bookmarks, like just let people bookmark it so they visit it more often whenever they need to calculate something. And I think many people, even in marketing, don't know how that works. So they don't know they can show their bookmarks bar at the top of their browser. I will not do this now because I don't want to show you what's in there, because no reason, but they could just click the icon here, so the log icon, and then just drag and drop it to the bar, and that would be it. So I could just add something like a GIF here just to make people understand, because people might also not read this text. But I think if I had a GIF here, that would be much more understandable for people, and people would pay more attention to that. Robert asks, what tool or plugin do you use to build the calculators? JavaScript. I'm not a developer, but I actually spent about 2 days figuring out how to do this. So this is actually just handwritten in JavaScript. If you want, I can send you the code, but direct message me, then I can send it to you. And okay, just before I go down, or I actually don't have a lot here. No, there's no comments more, but this one, I should maybe have a floating button that takes people back to the table of content. So when you scroll down here, because the page is pretty long and people might lose orientation. So they maybe want to calculate more things or multiple things. And then because the list is kind of long, so people might just get lost. And I think having a button here that scrolls with the user telling them to go back to the table of contents would be a bit more helpful. Then about the right side here, so this is again an element that scrolls with the person. So as you can see here on the right. First of all, I think it would make sense to add some context with this page, because right now this is just my standard message that I also have on my homepage telling people to sign up for my tips. But I think I should add some context by maybe saying something like stay updated about newly added formulas for this page and get conversion tips or something like this, just to have a better context in about this page. And then also, I use the word hacks here. So I don't like the word, and I don't know why I use it, because it's not hacks. It's not a hack. Okay, and then I have this part where I ask people to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. And actually I should add Instagram because that's my most important channel. I don't know why I forgot that. That's good. Whoops. And I should again give reasons to follow. So it's the same thing like in a footer of a page. If you want people to do something, give them reasons. And I think here I should also say, follow me because you will get this, and this out of it. But I didn't do it. And then also because I'm always trying to think of new formulas that I could add to this page, and I think here actually a really nice way would be using Hotjar again, but to ask questions to people. So I could just say something like, hey, what content or what formulas are you missing on this page? Do you have any suggestions? Just let me know, and then people could just type what they want to see on this page. So that would maybe help me in getting new inspiration for what to put on the page. Going through comments, the 5G of CRO, is that a compliment or an insult? I don't know. Why not put the table of content or calculator menu on the floating sidebar? Because it's too long. So if I would have this here, like you see how high it is, as soon as the height of my sidebar gets higher than my viewport, it stops scrolling, and then people could not see the end of it. So I will just show you. I hope nothing weird is in the background. No, it's not. So if I do this, oh no, actually it does scroll, but still people would not see it. So if I scroll down here, then if I have something there, they would not see it anymore. So I wouldn't do that. Oops, this shouldn't happen. Okay. Okay, that was it about this page. Then going to the next page, and we're halfway or more than halfway through. The next pages are not too long, so I'm fast, I hope. So this is a page where I offer or introduce my services. So if people click on services at the top, which is also something that every agency, everyone who sells a service usually has on their website. So people click here, and this is when you don't use the drop-down menu. So when you just click on the main navigation item, then you come to this page, and here it's maybe, so here I think I've done it in a better way, where I say I help growth-driven businesses, but I should still, as I say in this comment, still at the mid-sized clients. So don't only show off my biggest clients, but show off also smaller clients, so people understand it's also for them. But here I think I should also add something like agencies, because I'm actually helping agencies, not only businesses or companies that are not agencies, but I think, especially for agencies, maybe this is pretty interesting. So I should just add that here. I have it on that page, but it's a bit further below. So I have it here, and it's pretty invisible when I say it in this line. So I think I should add it in the main headline as well. And then, you've already seen it. So I have this part here, and this is super ugly. So, or not really ugly, but it's extremely badly or poorly designed. So there's no visual hierarchy at all. It's not even really clear where does one element start, where does it end, because it's just all in the same color, on the same background color, and there are no, there's basically no separation between the elements. So I should, definitely work on the design here. I don't know how I would make it look. I wouldn't necessarily use bars or something, or borders, to separate elements from each other, but I should maybe use slight different background colors or something like this. And and also I should add an image for each, because right now I think if I say something like conversion audit, it's not clear to many people what I mean by this. But having a quick image or a small image where I make people try to make people understand what it is, then I think it would make people much easier understand what it is without reading the text here, because many people won't read it. They would just click on the button. Going through your comments, Steve asks, would it be a good idea to have RSS or JSON feeds for people to click on engage on your home page to get more attention and client engagement? I'm not sure if I understand the question. In what context was that? Probably for my previous page, like the blog part, like the calculator page. Maybe yes. I don't know if RSS is still a thing that people use, but I'm not using it. I haven't used it for years, but yeah, but I think many people still use it. I don't know. However, yeah, this is something I could try, but I don't know how it is when you update a page. Can you push a new RSS notification out, or how does that work? I actually don't know how RSS works technically. So I've only used it on WordPress sites in the past when you publish a new article or something. For that it makes sense, but yeah, I haven't even thought about it in years. However, I do use push notifications, like browser push notifications, on different websites, not on my website. That's also something I could try. But I tried that earlier, actually 2 years ago or something. When I had my website, I was using browser push notifications, and then what happened was that people sign up for that, but they don't sign up for the emails anymore. But email is more important for me because because people change their browser, people change their browser login or their computer or something, and then often they get lost, so you cannot send them push notifications anymore, and that's not so nice. So I prefer email, and this was the reason I didn't use it, but maybe these days it's different. So again, this was like 2 years ago. Okay, I didn't know that WordPress does that automatically. Awkward. Okay, thanks for the tip. Okay, then the next page. So if you imagine you're on this page and you click on something like, for example, landing page concept and wireframe, then you get to this page, which is this one. And here I have one comment for the headline, which is a bit misleading. So for me, I'm moving it a bit. So for me, this sounds a bit like it's a full service, like you get a full landing page, including design and development, but this is not the case. So I'm actually only creating concept and wireframe, so something that goes to the designer and then to a developer, but I'm not doing those parts. So I think this is pretty misleading when I'm saying get your high converting landing page. So I should maybe add something like concept, wireframe, whatever, but I wouldn't know right now how I put it in here, but I think that's important. Then here, I think I make it in a pretty nice way where I'm saying including small and medium businesses and leading brands. So here I'm actually not making the mistakes of only talking about big clients. Then the next element is, the next comment is I should add a button to see, to introduce the content to people, because right now I'm counting on people to scroll without really getting a call to action for that. But I think I should add something here where I let people click something like see how much more money you can make, because usually when you have call to actions like this is something that people are very likely to click because they're like, oh, I want to see, I want to find out. So you kind of make use of this psychological effect. And yeah, if people do that, they would just get scrolled here. And this is another calculator that I built with JavaScript. I think Zach helped me with that. If you're watching, thanks. So you can just write down your campaign clicks. So how many people did you get through your campaign to your landing page, and then say 10,000, and then what was your conversion rate, and then how much revenue per conversion do you make, and then it actually tells you how much money you earn from it. So I think this is a cool thing just to make people understand how much more they could earn, because it's always nice to say, oh, you get 10% uplift, but 10% uplift doesn't really sound very much. But if you see your numbers, especially for bigger companies, like if you have 1 million visitors and you make, I don't know, maybe you have a hotel, so you make 100 euros per conversion on average, and then you have a conversion rate of 3%. And if you raise that by 20% or something, then you get 600,000 more from your campaign. So this is actually a huge number, but people don't really see that when they're only talking in percentages. So I think people should talk in absolutes, which I try, or think in absolutes, which I try to make with this calculator. Okay, next comment. Yeah, so I think what is missing on this page, so I will go through the content quickly in a second, but I think what's missing here is why should you work with me? And I think this should come very early in the beginning. And I'm not sales pitching, don't ask me to work with you, but I think this is important in the beginning because yeah, why would people go through all of this? And even if they read what I offer here, if they don't get reasons before where they understand why it's actually a good choice to work with me, then I think they will see all the content in a very different light or in a very different context. So I think it's important to have this. And sorry, my antivirus program annoys me. Okay, never mind. Okay, and yeah, and also maybe it's important. Sorry, I have to go through my comment. My antivirus notification completely distracted me. Okay, now I know what I mean. So if I add this, why you should work with me, I should use scroll tracking again. So I should see how many people see it and then decide, would I put it below this part or would I put it above this part? So make it more visible to more people, or is it enough to have it down here? Because I think down here would be better, but only if many people see it. And then also maybe it makes sense to use a video instead of just text, because the page is very text heavy. And I think having a video here would, for one thing, be nice just to be a bit more approachable again, because people would see me. I would make them or explain to them why or how I'm working, why it's a good choice, blah, blah, blah. And then also I could add stuff like video testimonials. And video testimonials, if someone says something about you, is the best thing you can get. So actually people sitting in front of a camera saying why it's cool to work with you or what the results were and stuff like this. So this, but for that I need to ask my clients, which I didn't really do in the past, because my brain sometimes is small. What? Don't give me that look. Okay, then basically for the whole text here, what you might notice yourself, if you see all of this, you might pay attention to the headlines. I will actually show it on this page so I don't have a comment here. So you might pay attention to the headlines, but whenever you look at a paragraph of text, like this one or this or this or this or whatever, then you will notice that your view is completely random. So you will just randomly look at words, and please do this right now as you're watching. So you could look at just this paragraph here where my mouse is moving, and you will see that the words you see are not necessarily important. So it makes sense to just use bold words here to make them stick out more, so you can control where people look first when they see your paragraph. And then also I have this no designer attend, which is actually a side note, but I made it way too prominent by using a background color. So this is also nothing you should do. So I should just use a border or something to make it a bit stand out, but not too extremely, because this is, although it's kind of a positive point, but still, it's not the most important point here. And then, Elias says just reading the headline. So it's true. So you need bold words to make people dig into your paragraphs. And then I have this part. Don't worry, because my face is cut apart here. That's just because of the screenshot that I took. But in general, this part is very, very unreadable. So because you have white text on a dark background, and this is something that usually makes people skip. So they don't really read it. They would just scroll further and so on. And I think here I shouldn't use dark background color. And then also, I have kind of cool brands here. Like I have a comment from Airbnb, I have one from Sixt, from HubSpot or Unbound, and so on. And I think this is pretty nice to have. I'm very proud of it. But then again, it doesn't really stick out. So I should use images instead of text. I should just show the brand logo. And then I think people would be more interested in reading that, because when they see it's from a brand that they maybe even like themselves, like Airbnb or something, then they would be more likely to read it. Then next one is, I should maybe also add photos for credibility. So whenever you have testimonials of someone, you can of course just use the name and the company that they have, but by adding a picture of them, the credibility or the Glaubwürdigkeit for the German listeners is usually much higher if you use a picture as well. I wouldn't link it to their page, because then sometimes people click and then they kind of get lost on the way, but still I would maybe use a picture. But of course I have to ask the people before I might use them. And also, again, I should try to get video testimonials, because they're just much more trustworthy. Pelle, I know. Okay, then next part, and we're almost through here. So this is the part where I say something like, hey, who am I? And I think I should add a picture here as well. Of course, I have one here in the video, but still I should maybe add one, or maybe add pictures of me doing my work or something in the About Me part of the page. And then I added a video here where I have a full talk about landing page optimization, which is like 45 minutes or something. And I give so much information in this talk. If you want to watch it, feel free. But I think it's a bad idea to put this on this page, because I'm trying to sell my service to improve their landing page. And then almost at the end of the page, I'm saying, hey, here are all my tips, or not all my tips, but here are many tips for landing page optimization. And this could lead people to think, oh, so I can try it myself first, and then they will never ask me. So this is actually a pretty stupid idea to put this video here. Then the end of the page is, so I'm basically asking people to schedule a call with me. And I think it's important when it goes, or when it's about a call, I should tell something about a time frame, like how much time should they invest. And I do this on the following thing. So I will show you in real life. So you click on schedule intro call, and then you see here that it's 30 minutes, and this is our agenda for a 30-minute call, and I say what we'll talk about and stuff like this, but I'm not saying it here. And this is actually information that should come before the click as well. So I would put it here and in the window that opens. And then, yeah, I love Calendly. So this is just the comment I have there, because it's such a cool tool for getting leads. I don't know if you've ever heard of it or used it, but this is basically what happens. So people click here, then they can pick a time. So they just see the calendar here, then they click on a date. They can pick a time that is synchronized with your calendar. So it actually checks where are you available. You can also add buffers, like don't give me, or don't provide any time slot that is 30 minutes before or after another appointment or something. And then people can click it, and then they can fill the form. And this is so nice, and many people use it. So actually, since starting using that, I got much more leads from people who want to work with me. And for me personally, it works much better than having the typical sign up form or something like a phone number where people should call. So this is really cool. And then they automatically get into Zoom or Google Hangouts with you, and it's just really cool. So if you haven't used it, I highly recommend checking that one out. Okay, then the second last page before I will leave you alone is my speakers page. So here I ask people to book me as a speaker, and not talking too much about this intro part here, because I think this is all pretty nicely done. Also, I added smaller logos like from less known conferences and companies and so on. And I think I have all the content here on the page where I say what I talk about, how my talk style is, where I've talked, what my biography is, and so on. I think I should offer this information as some kind of a downloadable PDF. So I should just have a link here where I can say download my speaker pitch deck or something, because this might be important for some people who are just on the lookout for different speakers for their event. And so they could give it to their whoever is making the decision, and just have a PDF instead of sending them to the page. And then also, which is something I didn't do yet, is something like I should have a sub page just to make my life easier. So if you're a speaker, if you spoke on different conferences, you might have had the situation where they're saying, oh, I need your picture or your photo, I need your bio, I need your whatever. And you could just have a sub page where you have all of this information where people can just download it themselves. And this sometimes saves a lot of time, especially if you're applying to be a speaker at many events. Something that could make a lot of sense. Pelle says, you said that the light text on dark background is bad. So, for example, automatic dark mode based on local time is not a good choice. For websites, I would say no. Of course, you can give people the decision, or leave them the decision to put your app or your website or your software as a service or whatever you have into dark mode, but I would not do it automatically, because usually whenever you A/B test light background against dark background, light background wins. At least I haven't done this in more than 3 years, but when it was the case, but also then dark mode wasn't a thing, it would always convert much, much worse. So I would say you can test it, but I wouldn't just do it based on time, because it's sometimes weird for the eye. Like if you look at this page and then you see something in dark mode and then you go back to something light, it's just a bit annoying for the eye. Okay, then I have something here where I'm just giving. It's okay. I have a quick talk here of a conference of OMR, Online Marketing Rockstars, in Hamburg that I gave, and this is basically my most impressive talk, because it was in front of more than 4,000 people. It's actually the picture here, but it's not my best talk. So maybe instead of just having this talk here, and I was only reading from the screen in this talk, which is pretty stupid and not nice as a speaker, but I wanted to be perfectly timed and everything, and I was super nervous and everything. So maybe instead of just showing this talk here, I should just cut together a show reel of multiple talks where people can just see different highlights from the talks that I gave. Then for this part where I'm saying how is my speaking style, what am I talking about, so I should add a headline. This is basically not the case here. I have bold text everywhere, but I don't have, oh, hello, Izzy. Izzy is my best friend, in case you don't know her. Okay, I will talk to you after this. So I only have bold text here, but I should have a bold headline and then not bold text, just to make people understand what is in this part of the content. Because right now, what happens, because everything is bold, so I will, basically, I have the same effect like I said before, so people just randomly look somewhere, but I can't control where they're looking. I try to do this with color here, but I still think I should add not bold text and then have a headline that basically says why me, but in a better copywriting. Also, I think for if you try to sell something online, and here I'm basically trying to sell myself as a speaker, so I should also introduce it with benefits. So I should say something for the event host, because everything I say here is aimed at the audience, at the visitor of the conference, but I should say something that is relevant to the event host, because they are making the decision. They have to pay the speaker or pay for the travel expenses or whatever, if they pay, and I hope they do. You could say something about if you choose me as a speaker, it will fill your seats because I'm well known, it's entertaining, show reviews from other speakers, and so on and so on. Maybe you get even more reviews for your conference. I'm not saying this is all about me necessarily, because I don't want to make that impression, but I think in general it makes sense to just add some points that is relevant or that are relevant for the host of the event. Then also the text here is centered, and I think it's pretty weird to read, so I actually don't like reading it when it's centered, because it's very difficult for the eye to find the right line. I mean, right now it's only 2 lines of text, which is fine, but then when you go to mobile, it's more lines of text, and then finding the next line is always a bit stressful if the text is centered. And and then I also have the talk topics here that I'm talking about, and I think it makes sense to not only have these, but also say something like or similar, and then have and more topics or whatever you want on your event, and then have a button that leads people down to the contact possibility. Then I kind of like this here, where I have the testimonials on these pictures very prominent. That's much better than on the page I had before, but also it takes a lot of space. And then here it's kind of okay to have this list that I had on my homepage, if you saw that in the beginning. So I think it's nice to let people know where have I spoken, because here it's actually relevant. However, I would show the most important ones as logos, just to impress people a bit more. And then the last part of the page, and we're almost done, like give me 5 more minutes or 10, then we're done with this live stream, is I should maybe add a pricing indication, because what happens here, I mean, I'm not getting many conversions for that anyway, especially right now, because no one is holding any events really, but maybe it makes sense to say something about pricing. I'm not sure about that. I could maybe say something like, you have to cover the travel expenses, because that's basically my least condition that I have, or my lowest condition. But I think maybe it turns people off or something. Maybe you should talk to them first. So I don't know if pricing indication here is good. I would definitely not say something about how much is it to get me as a speaker, because that kind of varies on how big the event is and so on. Actually, the bigger, the cheaper, because I get more audience. But I wouldn't say that here. And also, again, I should add an agenda and a time frame for the call. And then the last page. So if we're kind of going back to the beginning now. So if someone was on my homepage and they clicked on the button here to get the free conversion tips, or also in my navigation here at the top right to get the conversion tips, then they land on this page. Tumblely says never write something about the prices. It depends. So I do that on some pages just to filter, because I don't want people to send me an email or to get in touch with me, because then I would have to talk to them if they don't have the budget. So that's something I do here, for example, going back to the newsletter page in a second. But here, for example, I say your budget is 4,000 euros or higher. And this is my filter to not get shitty leads that I don't want to work with anyway. So I think here it makes a lot of sense to do this. However, on a page where the pricing is variable or it depends, I wouldn't say it. And also I wouldn't say it when you just want as many conversions or email addresses or leads as possible. Then you shouldn't talk about pricing. But here I actually want not many, I only want good ones. So I think here it makes sense. Okay, then the last page. So when people have these click this get my conversion growth tips, then they come here, and I'm using the word hacks again, but still I need to change that because it's a bullshit bingo word. And then this is very bad copywriting. So I have basically 2 sentences here because I added this one because what I tried for this live stream is add a get tickets link to the Facebook event where people would click and come to this page. So I also added this to this headline, but I need to remove this again because it's just really weird to read. Then yeah, I'm saying it's free forever, and maybe I should also add some social proof here. So I could say something like join 3,000 plus marketers, it's free forever. So yeah, just to build a bit more social proof because I think that's important here. And yeah, I think that's cool. By the way, I have about 3,000 subscribers in case you were ever wondering how many I have. Then I have this text here. So I have, this is what you get. And this is a pretty bad headline. So there's no value added at all. And I should, yeah, make it a bit more benefit focused again, although I have them here kind of, but it's again, it's features, it's not benefits. I should just make this all much more benefit driven. And then also, yeah, maybe add some testimonials. So just to let people understand that this is actually good content that they're getting. And yeah, I'm not doing events anymore really, so I should maybe just remove this part. This is also from the past where I was running events. And yeah, the text in general here is a bit too long, so maybe it makes sense just to have a quick bullet list of 4 items, or at least reduce the content that I have down here. And yeah, and maybe also I should show the giveaway that I have. So these conversion tips that people get, I should maybe just show yeah, like a screenshot of the PDF that people get or something, just to increase the likelihood or the willingness of people to leave their email address. Yeah, and also then I have this form here as my last point for this one, where I'm saying, or where I'm putting the form here at the bottom right, which is pretty much a very bad positioning if you want many people to see something. So I should maybe rather use a positioning like on my masterclass page where I have it here where it's a bit more visible, but I have to do some analytics research to find out where the best position is. And those are my points. So I hope you can still ask comments, still ask questions or something if you have any. However, I'm already rounding this up. So basically, as I said in the beginning, so I already I redesigned, I relaunched my page, I changed many things. I cannot really do A/B testing on my page because I don't have enough traffic for that. But yeah, for me, it was very surprising going through all of this, finding out how many things I would actually change and how much stuff is not nice on my page, because I thought, oh, now it's perfect, like 2 weeks ago or a month ago or something, whenever it was. And now I see, okay, there's actually nothing really perfect, so I need to go over it again. And I'm sure if I do that, I will have more things to complain. So I think this is, yeah, especially for everyone, it's very, very true. So whenever you have a website and you go through it, just don't only look at it yourself, but actually ask people, ask for feedback, and yeah, use different groups on Facebook or whatever, and just ask them for feedback on what you should change. And usually you get a lot of feedback from that. So it's very helpful because people have this third person point of view. They have the outside point of view that is not working in your company, that doesn't understand everything like you do in terms of your company. And so, yeah, I think this is very important, and my roundup for today. Okay, and I'm back. And yeah, I hope you learned something. So although it sounded very egocentric, obviously, because it was my page, I hope it didn't sound too weird or too sales pitchy, because I seriously just wanted to show what I would change about my page, because I always insult other people's pages, but I also should do that to my own. And yeah. Okay, last comment. So Steve says, maybe give ideas of the ROI if potential clients invest money making use of your services, outline the value potential. I wouldn't. So the thing is, if you make people or if you give people expectations, they will stick to those expectations, and that is usually a pretty annoying thing, because I cannot say how much I can increase conversions, because it always depends, and I can also not explain how much money they will make, because that extremely depends. So it's pretty impossible to say that. What I could say maybe is stuff like, I would never say something like, I will promise you this or that, but I would say maybe in the past I have done this or that, or with this client I have done this or that. So for example, with my one client, we just had 8 times ROI after 2 months. So this is pretty cool, and maybe stuff like that I can use for my case studies or something, but I wouldn't set expectations for the future, because that is just going to backfire at some point, I think. All right, and this, because we are already at 1.5 hours, so I will leave you now, and I hope you have a good time in your quarantine. Don't be too bored. Use the time to learn something. But you've read all of this on the internet, and I don't need to tell you. And I try to find the button. Whoops. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you soon.